You know, if you're Meghan Markle, you're always looking for the next job, you know what I mean? The next opening. You have to. And particularly when you think about it, well, with this latest series of As Love or whatever, With Love, Meghan, As Ever, I don't even know what it's called, do you? You see, the problem is that Netflix are looking at an absolute critical disaster. But not only that, a commercial disaster too. Hence the reason they didn't bother doing any promotion, couldn't be bothered to put any posters up. They virtually said, here's the series, watch it or don't watch it. So it was up to Meghan really to try and get herself some PR. She decided that she thought she'd go down a more sort of, well, authentic route. Oh yes. The idea really was to appear on something like this, Bloomberg. But as ever with Markle and her team, there was a bigger picture behind the scenes. And now she's hoping that this particular appearance, and what people suggest is, well, not a bad thing. Well, will it turn into something more fortuitous? As ever, let me explain. Welcome back, chums, and lovely to have your company. Yes, I'm talking to you. I hope you're all right, whatever you're doing. It's a funny thing, so we'll have a nice wave. It's a funny thing, isn't it, with certain people? You know, they have no idea that, well, you might say it's time to leave the stage, you know, that sort of thing. In the theatre world, you know, there's this sort of phrase of kind of leave the stage. It's something that when you think Meghan Markle should truly know when to do that. I mean, you know, she's had a number of chances, excellent chances with things like Spotify and various other things. And even when she's been interviewed by other people, for instance, on the Drew Barrymore show, she just doesn't come across as likeable. And I'm not attacking, I'm just saying the way it is. Everything looks very contrived, and you can see that this is a story that Meghan's either decided or agreed with the producers, and we know that happens, and then it just comes across as sort of, well, lame, boring. Now, of course, a recent interview over on the business channel Bloomberg, well, that was set up. I mean, this is farcical when you think about it, because basically Netflix didn't give a stuff about promoting this show. They were not going to spend any more money on this cookery show, simply because they'd already spent enough on the crew and on the, you know, the setup. And the problem is that when you put out your first series and you've simply chopped up the first series into the second series, everything that people loathed about the first series is now back for the second series. I hope you're keeping up. But do you know what I mean? There needed to be some radical re-editing. And they did come up with many ideas and film things, but it didn't sit well with the interjection of what you saw on camera right now. So you can understand, another huge failing. But you see, Meghan decided the best way to promote herself was to go down the business avenue and be, grilled about her entrepreneurial skills, what it's like setting up a business. The only thing people remember about that interview is Meghan moaning once again about the difficulties of royal life, because effectively she's useless at business. There is no business there. She can't flog wine. Nobody's interested in her rancid jams. And the other side of it is, well, who is she without the royal title? Bloomberg knew that. But you see, the one thing that Meghan's good at is drawing eyeballs to screens for all the wrong reasons, you see. Now, Bloomberg have had a bit of an uptake on that particular interview, as you can imagine, because it was so disastrous that really, I mean, the soap story again, you know what I mean? It's just farcical, isn't it? That she has no idea just how boring that is. And we all know it's not true. But in Meghan's mind, it's true, it's real, and it's happening. You get the picture. Now, here's again where this gets really interesting, you see, because according to a very well-placed source, the team are very keen to talk to the people behind the scenes of Bloomberg about if they'd want to, you know, think about Meghan being brought in every now and again to give her opinion on, say, a business story or something that's happening in the world of business. Let that sink in, right? No, let that sink in. What would Meghan Markle know about running anything? I mean, a vlog thing with the TIG, you know, we're talking about big businesses going bust and what would happen if this fashion empire fell apart or whatever. It's at the early stages, and apparently Bloomberg are quite keen on it. But as I said, you see, they're keen on it simply because it's good for eyeballs. They don't care how silly Meghan looks or indeed how much she's derided. And Meghan, in her small mind, as ever, I have to say allegedly, thinks, well, Bloomberg like me, so I must be very good with it. You see, everybody's pandering to the absolute elephant in the room. Nobody, because they're all on the payroll, dares say, this is a disaster. Don't mention the soap story again. Everybody in that office, when she came back and they watched the Bloomberg interview, which she'd been given on a disc, they all applauded wildly. So in Meghan's eyes, she's a success in another channel. The thing is, How long will you tune in for expert advice from Meghan on Bloomberg? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.